In the previous module, you learned that the Arizona Administrative Code, AAC, is the official compilation of rules created by state agencies to implement and enforce the statutes passed by the legislature. These rules, often referred to as the Commissioner's Rules within real estate, form the operational framework that ensures all licensees follow the law. Now we move deeper into understanding how these rules are interpreted and enforced. State agencies such as the Arizona Department of Real Estate, ADRE, not only create these rules under legislative authority, but also interpret and apply them through investigations, hearings, disciplinary actions, and guidance to the public. The enforcement of the administrative code ensures that Arizona's laws are more than words on paper. They are living, functioning standards that protect consumers, uphold professional integrity, and maintain fairness in all regulated industries, including real estate. The role of state agencies in enforcing rules. A state agency is an executive branch entity created by statute to administer specific areas of public policy. Each agency operates under a legislative grant of power, which authorizes it to interpret and enforce the laws within its jurisdiction. For example, the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, ADEQ, enforces environmental protection laws. The Arizona Department of Insurance and Financial Institutions, DIFI, regulates insurance and financial services. The Arizona Department of Real Estate, ADRE, enforces real estate licensing and conduct rules under Title IV, Chapter 28 of the Arizona Administration Code. AAC agencies act as the implementation arm of the legislature, turning broad statutory principles into enforceable rules and taking necessary action when those rules are violated. Interpretation of rules. Interpretation is the process by which a state agency explains or clarifies the meaning of a rule in the context of real-world practice. Because statutes are often written broadly, agencies must interpret how they apply to specific scenarios. The ADRE, for instance, frequently issues guidance and advisory opinions to clarify how particular commissioner's rules apply to everyday brokerage activities. These interpretations ensure consistency and fairness in how the rules are applied statewide. Example: the rule R4-28-1101 requires licensees to act with honesty, fairness, and disclosure. The ADRE may interpret this to mean that an agent cannot withhold a material defect from a buyer even if the seller prefers non-disclosure. Such interpretation helps define what professional conduct looks like in real-life transactions. Agencies may also issue substantive policy statements, official written documents that explain how the agency interprets certain laws or rules. For example, ADRE Substantive Policy Statement Number 2005.10 addresses the use of electronic signatures in real estate contracts, clarifying their legality under both Arizona and federal law. These interpretations carry weight because they represent the agency's official position and guide enforcement decisions. Enforcement of rules. Once rules are established, it is the responsibility of the agency to enforce them. Enforcement can include compliance monitoring, investigations, audits, and disciplinary actions. The ADRE enforces the Arizona Administrative Code through the following key mechanisms: audits and compliance reviews. The ADRE periodically audits brokerages to ensure compliance with R4-28-1103, broker supervision, R4-28-302, trust accounts, and R4-28-802, record keeping. Investigations of complaints. When the ADRE receives a complaint, it investigates potential violations of both the ARS and AAC rules, such as misrepresentation, advertising violations, or failure to supervise agents. Disciplinary actions. If violations are found, the Commissioner has authority under ARS Section 322153 to impose penalties, suspend licenses, or revoke them entirely. Administrative hearings. Licensees accused of violations may request a hearing before an administrative law judge, where the ADRE presents evidence supporting enforcement of the relevant rules. Example in practice. A designated broker fails to review transaction documents prepared by their agents. This violates R4-28-1103A, which requires brokers to exercise reasonable supervision and control over their licensees. The ADRE investigates, confirms the violation, and issues a $2,000 fine and a 6-month probationary period. This action enforces compliance with the administrative code and reinforces the broker's responsibility to supervise. The relationship between statutes, rules, and agency enforcement. The legislative, administrative, and executive branches of government work together to maintain the integrity of Arizona's regulatory system. The legislature creates statutes that define the law. The state agencies, like ADRE, create rules under the administrative code to carry out those statutes. The agencies also interpret and enforce those rules to ensure uniform application. This system is designed to prevent confusion, promote accountability, and protect consumers. Every rule in the administrative code ties back to statutory authority, and every enforcement action taken by an agency must be supported by both the ARS and AAC example. When a broker is disciplined for trust account violations, the authority for that action comes from ARS Section 32-215, 1.01, statutory requirement for record keeping, and R4-28, administrative rule detailing how trust accounts must be maintained. The ADRE enforces both simultaneously, ensuring statutory intent is fulfilled through precise rule application. Why agency enforcement matters. The enforcement of rules by agencies like the ADRE ensures public protection. Consumers can trust that licensed professionals are held accountable to high ethical and legal standards. Consistency. All licensees are subject to the same interpretations and applications of law statewide. Professional integrity. Enforcement reinforces professionalism by penalizing dishonest or negligent conduct. Education and guidance. Agencies not only enforce the law, but also educate licensees about compliance through outreach, advisories, and continuing education oversight. Without agency interpretation and enforcement, statutory law would lack the practical mechanisms needed to ensure real-world compliance. Review summary. In this section, you learn that state agencies, such as the Arizona Department of Real Estate, are responsible for interpreting and enforcing the rules found in the Arizona Administrative Code. Key takeaways include the AAC transforms statutory law into enforceable operational standards. State agencies have authority to interpret rules through official guidance, policy statements, and administrative decisions. Agencies like the ADRE enforce rules through audits, investigations, hearings, and disciplinary actions. Agency enforcement ensures that the law functions consistently, protecting both consumers and the integrity of licensed professionals. Understanding how agencies interpret and apply the AAC provides licensees with the knowledge to act within the law and avoid disciplinary action. Discussion 1. Why do state agencies like the ADRE interpret rules in the Arizona Administrative Code? Answer. Because statutes are often broad, and agencies must clarify how those laws apply in specific real-world situations to ensure consistent enforcement. 2. How do agencies enforce rules? Answer. Through audits, investigations, disciplinary actions, administrative hearings, and compliance education. 3. What is an example of an ADRE rule that might require enforcement? Answer. R4-28-1101, which requires honesty and disclosure in all transactions. Violations can lead to disciplinary action under ARS Section 322153. 4. What is the purpose of substantive policy statements issued by state agencies? Answer. to explain how the agency interprets certain rules or laws and to guide compliance among licensees. 5. How does agency enforcement protect the public? Answer: by holding licensees accountable, ensuring ethical conduct, and maintaining consumer confidence in the real estate profession. Closing remarks: the Arizona Administrative Code is only as effective as the agencies that interpret and enforce it. The Arizona Department of Real Estate plays a vital role in transforming written rules into living practices that uphold fairness, transparency, and professionalism. By understanding how agencies interpret and apply these rules, licensees gain a deeper awareness of their responsibilities under the law. Compliance is not merely about avoiding penalties. It is about honoring the trust placed in you as a real estate professional. In the next chapter, we will examine Arizona case law and how judicial decisions influence the interpretation of both the Arizona Revised Statutes and the Administrative Code, further shaping real estate practice in the state.